Have you ever wondered why the people who get ahead in life are rarely the ones who play fair? Maybe you've seen it firsthand. You follow the rules, stay decent, work hard, and yet someone less talented, less disciplined, somehow cuts in front of you. They weren't better, they were bolder. And that sting you feel, that's not failure. That's the realization that the game you were taught to play was never the real game at all. You've been conditioned to believe fairness makes you honorable, that decency will eventually be rewarded. But fairness is a leash. It keeps you predictable, and predictability is the weapon others use against you. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He didn't write for saints, he wrote for survivors, for men surrounded by enemies who couldn't afford hesitation. He taught them how to bend loyalty, how to weaponize virtue, how to win without apology. His lessons were not old, they are eternal. Let's pause here, because this isn't about cruelty for its own sake. This isn't about becoming a monster, it's about survival. It's about clarity. It's about refusing to let someone else's morality decide your fate. Look carefully at history, empires, dynasties, corporations. None of them were built on fair play. They were built on advantage ruthlessly taken, not on debate but on leverage, not on reputation but on results. Think of the people in your own life who outran you. Were they always smarter, stronger? Number. They were willing to act without hesitation, to cut ties, to choose results over reputation. While you stalled, asking, "Is this right?" They had already moved, and when the dust settled, no one remembered who played fair. They only remembered who won. Machiavelli warned princes never to rely on the goodness of others. Human beings, he said, are driven by fear, greed, and ambition. Even those who appear noble serve themselves first. If you ignore this, you will be blindsided again and again. But here's the uncomfortable twist. Ruthlessness, when done correctly, doesn't look like ruthlessness at all. It looks like strength. It looks like leadership. People crave order and they will follow whoever provides it, even if that order is built on cold precision. Consider Cesare Borgia, Machiavelli's great example. His power was not built on fairness. It was built on calculated terror. He punished betrayal so severely that no one dared test him twice. And yet, to the people, he looked like a savior. They didn't see the knife behind his smile. They only saw results. That's the paradox. The most effective ruthlessness is invisible. You don't announce it, you don't flaunt it, you act while others hesitate, you strike only when it counts. You make one decisive move that prevents 10 future betrayals. Strategic cruelty is not chaos, it is concentrated clarity. Now let's bring this closer to your life. Who benefits from your hesitation? Who moves forward while you're paralyzed by the question, what will people think? Those people understand the game. They use your conscience as a weapon against you, so what do? You stop performing goodness as a currency. You stop expecting fairness to protect you, and you start being intentional. That doesn't mean becoming savage. It means choosing restraint until restraint is weakness, and then moving so cleanly, so decisively that no one wants to test you again. History teaches us that mercy is admirable, but only when you are in complete control. Otherwise, mercy is an invitation to betrayal. Wound your enemy and they will come back stronger. End them and no one dares rise. Cruelty, when used well, is not a vice. It is a necessity, but remember, cruelty must never come from rage. Anger clouds precision. True ruthlessness is cold. It is calculated. It is the scalpel, not the club. A ruler who punishes in anger makes mistakes. A ruler who punishes with discipline teaches a lesson that lasts for generations. Even in your own world, this principle applies. Cut toxic people cleanly instead of tolerating them in small doses. End betrayals decisively instead of dragging them out. Set boundaries once and enforce them without apology. People respect clarity more than endless second chances. And here's the irony. Once people know you are capable of being cold when necessary, you will need to use cruelty less often. Like a sword kept sharp but rarely drawn, the mere reputation of resolve keeps peace more effectively than any performance of kindness. This is why narrative matters. Because power is not just about what you do, it's about what people believe about what you do. Rome didn't just destroy enemies, it rewrote history. Leaders throughout time have staged generosity while quietly seizing wealth. They've paraded peace while sharpening swords. And by shaping the story, they made power look righteous, even inevitable. If you let others narrate your actions, you lose half the battle before it begins. Crush a rival without framing it, and you're a tyrant. Crush a rival and frame it as necessary justice, and the crowd cheers. Narrative is armor. It disguises your blade and makes your rise look natural. That's why the most dangerous operator is the one whose moves seem to have no author. If people can't trace the story back to you, they can't fight it. They'll believe it was their own idea all along. So what's the deeper lesson? That power is not about winning arguments in the moment. It's about shaping the consequences. The weak fight blow for blow, desperate to control events. The powerful don't care about the blow itself. They're already deciding what happens after the dust settles. When you master consequences, you don't need to bark orders or beg for loyalty. People obey because they know the cost of defiance is too high. Like gravity, your authority becomes a fact of nature, and that's where fairness finally dies. Because fairness was never the rule of the world, it was the story told to keep you obedient. The world doesn't reward the purest, it rewards the boldest. So let me ask you one last time. Where in your life are you still waiting for fairness to rescue you? Where are you handing control of your fate to others, hoping they'll treat you as you treat them? Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Power respects only those who move without hesitation, who refuse to pause when others stall. Play the deeper game. Build leverage. Shape the story. Control the aftermath. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember who followed the rules. It remembers who decided the rules. And if you refuse to do that, someone else will. Someone weaker, someone bolder, someone ruthless enough to take what you left waiting. The choice is yours. Stay leashed to fairness or learn the discipline of ruthlessness. One will keep you predictable. The other will make you untouchable.